It's 8:30. Good morning. I'm Ian Crouch with Hunter News. The driver of a panel van involved in a horrific crash on the M1 at Summersby remains in a critical condition in Sydney's Royal North Shore Hospital. Police say it appears the van was travelling north when it slammed into the back of a semi-trailer which was parked in the breakdown lane at about 10 yesterday morning. A 49-year-old man in the passenger seat of the van died at the scene. The truck driver wasn't injured and returned a negative breath test. A 4-year-old girl is being praised by police for helping to save her mum, who rolled her buggy down a steep slope on a property north of Gloucester yesterday afternoon. The 35-year-old mother was trapped in the wreckage. Her daughter witnessed the crash, climbing down the embankment to tend to her mum before running home to call 000. The Hunter's Westpac rescue helicopter flew the mother to the John Hunter Hospital, where she's now reported to be in a stable condition with a broken leg. The New South Wales government is finally tackling the maintenance issues plaguing some of our biggest and most run-down schools in the Hunter. Out of the $390 million funding scheme, the Hunter will get $50 million for schools in desperate need of maintenance work. Parliamentary Secretary for the Hunter, Scott McDonald, says the statewide backlog of repairs has decreased since Labor was in power.
When we came into government, we inherited a backlog of about $1 billion. We've managed to get that down to about $750 million, but the state government is putting another $60 million into this, and $50 million of that will come across the Hunter schools.
Port Stephens oyster farmers believe someone with an intimate working knowledge of the industry is responsible for the theft of thousands of dollars worth of oysters. More than 350 dozen oysters were taken from 2 farmers on the Karua River last Saturday night. It's the latest in a string of thefts, coming only months after 1,500 dozen oysters valued at more than $25,000 were taken from river leases. Farmers believe the high demand for oysters, which are in short supply, is behind the thefts. Hunter property owners look set to be hit with higher council rates to help pay for our fire and emergency services. The new levy will replace a tax on insurance policies, with the average landowner to pay an extra $136 a year, well below the state average of $185. However, it's expected household insurance premiums will fall as a result. Today, Wild Koala Day is being observed throughout the Hunter in a bid to raise awareness of the declining koala population across the region. The message organisers want the community to remember is the 3 Ps: plant a tree, protect a forest, and phone your local poly and tell them how important koalas are. Volunteer koala carer Sue Swain says everyone needs to play their part to ensure not only this species' survival, but many others as well.
Australians have the dubious record of being the world's worst country for making species extinct. We are number 1 for making species extinct. So something's got to be done. It's got to be done now before it's too late, if it isn't already.
Sport for our sponsor, PRD Nationwide East Maitland.
The Knights hope to snare 1 or 2 big-name NRL players before the June 30 cut-off date. Newcastle has some room in their salary cap, but are still dealing with having to pay the likes of Jared Mullen and the injured Rory Koscielny. Coach Nathan Brown says they have some tough decisions ahead of them, but in the end they want senior players who are prepared to stay longer than 1 season.
Whilst we do have plenty of cap room available to bring probably any player we like in, or could bring in anyone we like, there's other laws that we've got to, I suppose, or rules we've got to abide by as well. So are we looking? We certainly are. Is it likely? I couldn't be honest with you at this stage.
There's more FFA Cup soccer action tonight with Adamstown taking on Thornton, Dudley Redhead up against Cardiff City, Singleton at home to Lake Macquarie, Charlestown playing Lambton, Mayfield United taking on Newcastle Suns, while Western host Cooks Hill. And there was a close call for riders yesterday at Cessnock Racecourse. A kangaroo jumped onto the course during the final race of the day, swerving across the track and narrowly missing the horses. Jockey Robert Thompson won the race. And the winning numbers in Oz Lotto are 28, 22, 9, 19, 38, 17 and 2, and the supplementaries are 41 and 33. 2NURFM News Time, 26 to 9.